Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for coming. I think this video is going to be a little bit different than what I typically post. In honor of Pride Month, I thought I would tell my coming out story. Please ignore the little cat in the back. She's eating. I have always known that I was different. I grew up in a very... My dad was a preacher. I grew up in a fairly religious household. Mind you, he didn't come out as a preacher until I was 13. Before that, he was an alcoholic. So, not something you want to tell a violent alcoholic. But, it was difficult keeping it to myself. I didn't feel like I could talk to my family about it. I honestly didn't feel like I could talk to anybody about it, because I grew up in the Bible Belt. Not exactly the safest place, not to mention it was the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and late 80s, and the height of AIDS and HIV and severe homophobia. So I dated guys. It's what was expected of me. And don't get me wrong, I'm attracted to guys too. But that's all I dated. And I never came out to my daddy. Ever. He passed away in 2011. Not knowing the real me. Oh. There were several girls I did find attractive when I was growing up, but like I said, given where I was growing up, not the best thing to even tell them, because even looking back now, knowing what I know now about them, they're very religious people too now. I did dance with one girl at junior prom, but given that most girls dance together when they don't have a guy to dance with, nobody ever thought twice about that. I never told my parents that I did experiment with girls. I will not name names because that's nobody's business. But I did experiment with girls growing up as a teenager. That's how I know that that I for sure liked girls too. That just confirmed to me that, yeah, that's who I am. And so when I was old enough to understand what labels were, it wasn't a huge thing. You were either gay or straight when I was little, but I knew I was bisexual at that time, because what I actually am is pansexual, and there wasn't a label for that back then. And I never told my ex-husband that I was bisexual, but he did know that I had experimented with females. He just thought I preferred men. My children have always known. I've never lied to them. they've always known. And they've always loved and accepted me as I am. My current husband, I came out to him not long after we started dating because I knew he was an ally. And he accepts me, all of me. And I feel like I can be fully myself with him. I've never felt that with another partner. As most of you who watch my channel regularly know, my mom is in bad health. And I'd already lost one parent without showing him who I really am. And I didn't want to do that again. So, at 44, I told my mom one day when I was up there taking care of her, I told her, I said, you know, and we were talking about something on the TV about the LGBTQIA. I said, I want to tell you something without you getting mad at me. And by this point, I already knew I was pansexual. And I said, I'm pansexual. And that means that I don't see gender. That I fall in love with a personality. So I don't care if you're male, female, non-binary, trans, whatever you want to identify as. I can still find you attractive. And she told me, I'm sorry. She said, Shawna, I've known since before you were a teenager that you were straight. I said, do you still love me? Now knowing for sure. And she said, I'll always love you. And I thought, yay. My mom's accepting. Well, she's not. Don't get me wrong, she still loves me. And we still talk regularly, and I still go help her and take care of her. Because I love her and she's my mom. But last time I was visiting with her, we were talking about NSYNC was on the TV, and I pointed out Lance Bass because she's talking about how cute they all were and everything. My mom has dementia and she kind of gets childlike sometimes. But anyway, I said, well, you know, he's married to a man, and if I'm not mistaken, they have a child. And then she was all, well, I just can't agree with that. And I said, Mama, I said, would you not rather that child grow up in a household with two loving people, whether they're two men, two women, whatever, than to be stuck in foster care? And she said, well, yeah, but I still can't get behind that. I can't agree with it. It's just wrong. I said, Mama, I said, you know I'm pansexual, right? And she said, yeah. She said, but I really wish you weren't. And I said, I can't change who I am. Not that I would want to. Because I'm finally starting to love me. And she said, I really wish you weren't like that. I said, well, what about my daughter? And because at the time she identified as bisexual, now she identifies as lesbian. I said, well, what about her? I said, she could end up with a girl. My mama doesn't know she's lesbian. She just thinks she's still bisexual. And she said, well, I really hope not, because I just can't, I just wish she wasn't like that. I wish neither one of you were that way. I said, we have a choice. I said, I was born this way, I'm sorry. I wanted to say, I knew it would have pissed her off. I want to say, well, you made me this way. You and God and Daddy made me this way. It's not my fault. I choose it. Yes, I am in a straight passing relationship. So because of that, I do get to avoid a lot of the hate. But I'm not oblivious to it. I mean, I still live in the Bible Belt. I see it all the time. But that, my mother, tell me. I just wish you weren't that way. I don't think anything could have hurt me more. Because when my daughter came out, I gave her nothing but love. I could imagine telling her I wish she was something else. I've put off this video all week, knowing how hard it was going to be to talk about it. So every time I go up there, I have to pretty much arm myself, put myself in a bubble, so that I can handle anything she says. And then deal with it later alone, because I know saying anything to her is not going to do me any good. I'm not going to change her mind. I'm definitely not going to change her religious stance. Lord knows I've tried over the years. Even off and on, I would bring up how pretty I thought somebody was looked on TV, just testing the waters. And that didn't go over well, so that kept me in the closet all these years. But still terrified of telling her at 44. It makes me sad. Sometimes I feel like I'm still just a kid looking for my parents' acceptance. Knowing I'm never really going to have it. Not fully. It hurts. But, you know, I have a very accepting husband. Very accepting children who love me. And That's my support system. And I couldn't do this without them. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have them. They are my reason. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get all teary-eyed and sad and emotional. But it is an emotional, personal thing. Everyone's coming out as different. And I am so thankful that I gave my daughter a positive. That me and my husband both gave my daughter a positive coming out. And I'm so thankful those parents that are out there that do give their children positive coming out stories. And my heart breaks for those who don't. Anyway, that's my coming out story. I love you guys. Go out there. Spread a little kindness. Honor love. That's all I could ever ask for. Because love is love. No matter what shape, color, gender, whatever it's in. Love wins. Happy Pride Month. I love you.